Welcome to the Embracing Intensity podcast. I'll be sharing interviews and tips for gifted, creative, twice exceptional, and outside-the-box thinkers who use their fire in a positive way. My name is Aurora Remember Holtzman. After years of feeling too much, I finally realized that intensity is the source of my greatest power. Now, instead of beating myself up about not measuring up to my own self-imposed standards, I'm on a mission to help people embrace their own intensity and befriend their brains so they can share their gifts with the world through the Embracing Intensity community, coaching, educational assessment, and other tools to help use your fire without getting burned. I am super thrilled to share today our talk with Nadja, former tidying coach, about tidying up your brain, Marie Kondo style. And we had a fabulous conversation after the talk, which you can find in the Embracing Intensity membership, along with all of our other past guest calls and discussions. Great to have you here, Nadja. So I'll let you take it away.
Thank you. So I'm not sure how familiar you are with the Marie Kondo method, but no. Okay, good. I prepared some slides. So maybe, Aurora, if you can enable me to share that.
You should be good now.
Perfect. Okay, so thank you so much, Aurora, for having me. I would like to share about how you can tidy to thrive and how you can KonMari your life and your brain. That was kind of my first dip into entrepreneurship until I realized I didn't like to work with clients as a tidying coach, but the skill set is still really helpful, as you will see going through this presentation with you. So I would like to start off with this quote from Frank Muska, who's an architect. He says, "We are living our life depending on the space we've got rather than creating our space to fit our lives." And I think that's so true because we have, huge houses. I don't know if most of you are in Northern America, probably have bigger houses than me, but we have just a space and then we just fill it with things and clutter and just instead of really thinking, what do we want, and then create the space for that. And I think the same also goes for our brains. If we're here in this gifted community or 2E community, we might have different capacity than other people, and we might just stuff our brains with things. But maybe we can also be a little bit more mindful of how we fill our brains and what we put into them, and what we keep and what we let go. So I want to talk about joy today. That's all about the Marie Kondo method. And I was once asked to share a picture that represents me. And I think that little girl throwing around balls in this pool of balls, I don't even know what this is called, but it's like this bazinga pool of balls. And just that looks like the happiest moment of this little girl's life. And I think that represents me. So I want to share how tidying can positively influence your life. It sounds so simple. It's a simple technique, but that doesn't mean it's easy. So I give you the step-by-step guide for successfully tidying your space and simultaneously your brain. And also a few thoughts on how you can have a little bit more joy in your daily life as of today. I just want to make the difference between tidying and cleaning, especially if non-English speaking natives. So tidying is about focusing on your things, where cleaning is about dirt and debris. With tidying, you basically face yourself because it's your things, your belongings. Whereas with cleaning, you're facing your surroundings, nature. And so that's two different things in terms of but also what it represents and how it can affect your mental state. But who am I talking about tidying so passionately. So I'm Nadja Cereghetti. I call myself a multi-potentialite with a hybrid professional identity. One of my podcast guests, Sarah Beth Burke, shared about the hybrid professional identity. And I think that's so on point that, especially the 2E community, and some of you mentioned having 3 different verses going on simultaneously. So yeah, that's also me. I call myself a former tidying coach, former scientist, former project manager. Currently, I'm an HR professional. I would like to represent the neurodivergent community in the HR profession. That's why I took this new opportunity. I'm also a podcast host of Unleash Monday, which talks about neurodiversity and twice exceptionality. So giftedness and anything on top of that. So yeah, currently I've been a little bit quiet. It's been a lot going on. So I'm still going also through the process of tidying what to keep and what to focus on. So I'm actually very excited to be here today and talk about joy, because I think I need to hear it myself. So thank you again for having me. So this is an actual picture of my room at 15 years old. I was very ashamed in the beginning sharing this, but now my dad once took this picture and he threatened to show my classmates when I was 15 years old. And I thought, if I'm so smart, why can I not keep my room tidy? It's not that my parents didn't try. They told me every Saturday to tidy up my room so that I could then vacuum the floor. But as you can see on this picture, the floor is covered with stuff. It was never dirty, but it was always messy. And after maybe half an hour later, it looked the same. So, yeah. But it can be learned. So that's a picture of my bedroom, not the one currently, but my former bedroom, right when I did the Marie Kondo method. I actually am able to tidy now. I can keep it tidy, and it really calms also my brain. But I must say, when I'm stressed, when there's a lot going on in my mind, it reflects in my space. So the more my space is tidy and put together, the more my space around me is getting a little bit out of hand, the more is going on internally. So that can be a reflection. And when I see my room getting a little bit out of hand, I know, okay, it's time to kind of attend again to my mental tidiness as well. Basis of my teachings is basically Marie Kondo. She's a very famous tidying guru from Japan. And I think the reason why she's so successful in the US is because her books were translated in such a beautiful way into the English language that it really incorporates the Japanese philosophy, but kind of translates it into the Northern American lifestyle. And the translation was done in a really beautiful way, and the term spark joy comes from the translator. And I think that's so on point, really finding these things that really, spark this joy in us. If you try to tidy and downsize a little bit of your belongings, there will always be emotions involved. Downsizing is not without emotions. They can be positive, but some of them can also be negative. So just be aware that this is an emotional process. When I started this process of tidying, I was actually very surprised how emotional it got. I thought, I'm just going to start tidying with this sock drawer. I was really kind of overcome with emotions. And when I found the method, I basically found a video, I think somewhere, I guess on Facebook. And I started before even reading the books. And only once I started reading her books about tidying, I realized, it's not me. It's really this process of kind of finding yourself through tidying. So there's positive side effects that come when you start tidying. It is really empowering because you have to make so many decisions, like what do you keep and what not. It really clears your space, but at the same time, it will also clear your mind. And it effectively is a lifestyle change because you will experience things in a different way.